Hi everyone. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but I was running and I fell over and bruised on my arm and it was all green. So I'm okay, but I don't really want to edit a lot. So you're going to be stuck with a story time this week. And I was thinking about this person when I was driving home to my parents at the weekend. And for some reason he'd given me like PTSD and I literally could not remember his name, but I do now. I thought I'd just talk about the perils of, I think I briefly touched on this before when I talked about dating the nice guy, but the perils of overcorrection. So this was the first person that I dated after the guy that I did a narcissist story time on. And I don't know if he was truly a narcissist, but he wasn't a very nice person. And after I finished dating this person for good, I was a complete mess. And what I should have done is taken a breather, sat the fuck down for a minute, and gathered myself and thought, okay, we're not going to do this again. Instead of that, I thought it would be a great idea to go straight back onto the dating scene. And I met this person from all places, a bloody dating app, Tinder to be precise. And I met this person, and at this point my self-esteem was not in the great place. Bearing in mind, as I've talked about before, this was the person that would not commit to me. This person didn't want to be with me. They would use me, they would breadcrumb me, gaslight me. Literally every dating term that you've heard, this guy would spring on me, come back 3 months later, etc. And literally just mess with my head. So I matched with this person and I wasn't really attracted to this person, but I matched with him, and this person asked me out. I didn't really want to go on the date, but I did, because to be honest with you, I did not fancy this guy, but we're kind of told in the media to just, go on as many dates as possible. No. That is terrible advice. Only go on dates with men that you are physically attracted to and you have a connection with. Literally, you do not need to go on 1,000 dates. Trust me, I've been there. So I went on a date with this person and it was fine. It was just like a standard date. And then at the end of the day, he asked me out on a second date. And even when he asked me, I was a bit like, and I was like, yeah, okay then. And from then on, we didn't go on any more actual physical dates. It was me just literally going round to his house and watching TV. And at this point, we weren't even having sex. It was literally just watching TV at his house. No dates, no effort, no nothing. Just because I was lonely and I didn't want to be on my own. So for me, in my head, I thought, well, I'd rather just be with this person that I'm not physically attracted to and just hang out with them because I don't want to be alone. And that's what we did. And there wasn't really a lot of connection, a lot of spark. And this was at the time where, how old was I? I think I probably just hit 30. I was just at that stage, a woman, when you go into absolute panic mode. At 30, you think, shit, I'm not married, I'm 30, what am I going to do? And I just attached myself to this person. And at one point, I remember, because he lived with his mum and dad, we didn't actually meet the parents. They were just, it's a long story, I don't want to bore you, but he lived in the basement of his parents' house and he had a massive complex about that. And he would always say, oh yeah, I'm saving to move out. And I was like, no, you're just a failure to launch. But I dumbed my criteria down because I thought, I'm getting older, I don't want to be alone, so I made excuses. And he was actually really rude to his mum one day, and I thought to myself, if that's how you treat your mother, who's given birth to you, how the hell are you going to end up treating me? That's going to be me 10 years down the line. You're going to be treating me like that. And even then I saw it as a red flag and just pushed it down. And cut a long story short, we kind of dated, I would say, for about 2 months. So, as I say, just watching TV, not really doing anything. He would keep making excuses, saying that he was saving for his house, all the while living fucking rent-free with his parents. And he would say things like, oh, women just want people with money. That's all women are interested in. I'm not, taking women out on dates. They just want you for your money. And at this point, my self-esteem was so far in the ground, I just accepted it. I was like, okay, we're just going to watch TV. That's fine. That's all I deserve. Because my self-esteem was so low into the ground. And at this point, I was actually thinner than I have been on my channel. I wasn't even overweight and feeling that I couldn't find a man. But I just was like, okay, accepted it. And for some reason, I always went round to his house. He never came to mine. I don't know why. Subconsciously, I think I went to his because then I could get away. I always feel like if people, I know probably this is really bad, but I always feel that if people come to my house, then I can't get rid of them. And I know I need to work on that. That is a bit of a red flag. But I think consciously it's because the people haven't been right for me. So I've wanted to get rid of them. I think if I was with the right person, I wouldn't feel that way. That I wanted to get rid of them. So it all came to it came to a head. It all came to an end when, after about 2 months of this merry-go-round, of me not really fancying him, I kind of thought, if I just have sex with that man, then we'll get a connection. It's the not having sex. I need to have sex with this person, and then I can develop a spark. So I thought, okay, we'll do this. And the sex was just, as you'd imagine, just horrible, just no connection. I wasn't really interested in this man, and I think for good sex you really need to be connected to someone and physically attracted to them, and we didn't have either of these components. I don't really know how he felt about me to this day. All he would just say that he found me pretty, so I don't really know. But after that moment, he just completely changed. And I've heard it referred to by, I think it's Chris Williamson on his podcast, about this concept called post-nut clarity, where after guys have sex with you, it's kind of over for them. And this is probably one of the greatest fears that females feel. It's that fear that once a guy has sex with them, they will lose all interest in them. And, it's really hot. That a guy will lose all interest in them and it's only the sex. And possibly this is what happened for this man. I still don't know to this day, and I try not overanalyze it, why someone would put in 2 months' work with someone to have sex with them and to never see them again. I still to this day don't know why he did that. There are much easier ways to get sex. But he just turned after that, and again he was like, I don't want a relationship with you. This is why, I don't know, being really honest, sometimes maybe this is why I haven't had sex so much recently, is because I've had a couple of bad experiences where men just literally flip out after having sex with me and just say they don't want a relationship with me and then never see them again. So I think that's why I became really like quiet and a bit of like a former like shell of myself, because I was keeps internalizing all these things about why do people reject me after having sex with me? Like, what is wrong with me? And after this experience with that man, I didn't hear from him again, and I haven't heard from him again. It must be years now. But after sex with me, he just didn't want to know. And after that moment, it was just a realization. It was just a lesson that I felt. I just thought, you can't try and make it work with someone that you do not have chemistry with. You do not have to settle for someone that you don't really like, that you're not attracted to. It's literally better to be on your own and lonely than be with someone that you don't like. And the thing is, he was a nice guy, or presented himself as the nice guy. And it feels even worse when the nice guy rejects you, or the like ugly guy rejects you. Because in your head you can think, well, this man was attractive and he ghosted me. He has a lot of options, that's fair enough. But when the ugly guy rejects you, oh my god, it crushes you so bad, because you'll think, this guy's fucking ugly and he rejected me. And it was such a while ago, and I honestly haven't had sex since, because it really did affect me. The fact that I'd put in 2 months of work and dating, whatever, with this guy, and the fact that he could have sex with me and then just dump me, and it made me like really closed off. And then of course we went into the pandemic anyway, and it just really made me evaluate my life choices and what I was doing. And then that's why I just started with my channel, because I was thinking to like girls watching this that it doesn't really matter when you sleep with a man. You can sleep with them on the first day, you can sleep with them like I did 2 months down the line, and they can leave you at any point. Having sex with a man is not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee of commitment, and I had to like face that head on, that even in a way it was even worse. Sometimes I think it's better if you sleep with them early, and then if they dump you or whatever, you can just think, oh well, I didn't invest. Sometimes it feels worse if you invest in a man emotionally and then have sex with them and then he doesn't want to be with you. It feels even worse, because he's not just rejecting you physically, he's rejecting the emotional bond that you've created. It just leaves you in this like messed up feedback loop. So that's why I literally just focused on my channel, because I would rather just wait for someone that I really like and have a connection with, rather than just dating someone out of panic and because I'm scared that I won't find anyone. Even now, I still get a lot of pushback from my parents that tell me that I'm being too picky, that tell me that I'm being fussy, that I should just date the normal guy. But this guy was the normal guy and he still fucked me over. Even after dating for like 2 months, he still like messed with my head. And that's when, after him, so it was a combination of the narcissist and then this guy pretending to be the nice guy. That's when I started to just really spiral, and then that's when I put on the load of weight, because I'd just gone from this relationship to this relationship just feeling really shitty, and then that's when I put on a load of weight. And it's only just now that I've started to get my life back together and kind of get sorted. And I just want to tell people to like not be hard on yourself for the decisions you make, because you make decisions at the time with the life experiences that you've had. And it's easy for me to sit in my bedroom and think, why did I do that? And I know that I wouldn't do that now. And not to beat myself up about it. It is sadly a fact of life. I don't know any woman out there that has always slept with a man and it's always worked out. You're always sadly going to have scenarios where it doesn't work out. And that's just the judgment call you have to make. Is that, like I said before, having sex with a man doesn't equal commitment or feelings. It is different for men. and that's just the way it is. And yeah, you're gonna get pushback from people that are saying, oh, it's reductive to say that men do this and women do that, but I'm just talking about my personal experience and how I feel, and I just feel that in general that the male experience is different to the female experience. So that's what I had to realise. And sadly, just dating the nice guy doesn't work out. And they'll often pretend to be nice but not. That's even worse. A lot of my dating experience has not been, now in the massive hookup culture. It started, maybe 10 years ago or whatever. But if you remember, but back when I was, dating quite a lot, it was mainly online dating that I would meet people. And in those days, sex wasn't as available for men. So men would string you along to get sex, because we're even talking 10 years ago. It was completely different. Men would pretend to like you to get sex. Now, I find men are just honest on Tinder. They literally put in their bio looking for sex. And men are honest. And I suppose in a way that's better, because at least they're not stringing anyone along. Whereas when I was dating, there wasn't that openness. It was, oh, I'll string someone along just to get sex with them. And I suppose you could argue that that's maybe one of the positives of today's hookup culture, is that men are honest and they say, look, I just want sex. And women can make that judgment call if they want to do that or not. So I guess the moral of the story is to not just to date someone because they're nice, hoping that connection will grow. If you're not physically attracted to someone, it's not going to grow. Don't do what I did and have sex with someone hoping that some kind of light bulb moment will go off and then we'll just become attracted, because it sadly didn't work for me and it sent me into a bit of a spiral.